Kiryu-san.
We rarely ever get to say goodbye to modern legends, and I think that's what makes the rare times we get to see our heroes and icons grow old and leave the spotlight all the more fascinating to me. We don't get to see our favorite characters retire or walk off into the sunset anymore. There's an incentive by companies to keep their stories going in perpetuity in order to sell more movies, games, shows, etc. Oftentimes our heroes don't get to go out like Samson or Hercules. They don't get an ending like Odysseus being reunited with his family. Our Thor doesn't die in a final battle with Jormungandr at the end of the world. He has to stay alive so more comics can be sold and merchandise around him can be continued to be produced. But sometimes the legends do come to an end. We see our heroes grow old. They wither and they go out protecting those they love. Sometimes they get their happy ending and they walk off into the sunset, surrounded by family. Sometimes they cement their mythic status and go out with a bang, becoming larger than life itself. And sometimes they die tragically and become a pawn in someone else's story. Everything comes to an end eventually. Kazuma Kiryu is dying. That's what you come to discover throughout your playthrough of the game. He has terminal cancer and there's no cure for it. Given only months to live, Kiryu burns the candle at both ends and ignores his condition. He pushes forward, helping out those in need, content to die prematurely. His appearance is ragged now. While he still has his signature stylish sense of dress, his hair is grayed. He has dark circles under his eyes, he's thinner, and his wrinkled brow is more pronounced than ever before. It seems obvious from the beginning of the game that Kiryu will die. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. He coughs up blood, he passes out, and he has dreams only dying men have, a jumbled mix of memories and visions. Kazuma Kiryu is going to die. I've loved the Yakuza, or Like a Dragon series, for a long time now. Ever since I saw Yakuza Your Next Favorite 9 years ago by Hyperbit Hero, I've had a fascination with this series. The stories of Kiryu facing down against his foes while also engaging in silly side stories and raising his daughter as a single dad was such a brilliant combination. It allows you to see several sides of this man. Yes, he's a dangerous man not to be trifled with and can easily take you down with a single punch, but he's also kind of a goofy guy. He loves pocket circuit and karaoke, he manages hostess clubs and goes on crazy adventures fighting sea creatures. While all of this is tonally dissonant from the serious main stories of these games that find Kiryu battling corrupt officials and the Yakuza alike for the soul of the Tojo clan, it also leads to Kiryu feeling like an intensely three-dimensional character who has many facets to him. Kiryu isn't just one thing, he's a great many. And through spending many hours in his shoes and helping him on his adventures throughout these last 9 years, I've grown a huge one-sided connection with him. Thanks to RGG games being released almost yearly now during that time, I've come back every year to visit with him, going on brand new adventures with him each time, getting to know more and more about the legendary dragon of Dojima. He's become a sort of friend over the last semi-decade. Anytime I'm down or I'm sick, I can visit Kamurocho, Sotenbori, or any other setting Kiryu finds himself in, and visit with a friend, just shooting the shit, or going through one of the many side activities, or hearing about just what's going on in his life. Oftentimes, by the time that it's time to come back to reality, I feel rejuvenated. It was good to see Kiryu again. Good to know what he's doing and what he's up to. Towards the midpoint of Infinite Wealth, Kiryu's health declines, and he's forced to leave the main mission to Ichiban and fly back to Japan. The nice thing is he's not alone, and many companions join him when he's back in Japan. Ichiban's friends all look after him and his health. We start to see Kiryu slowly come back to life throughout his return to Japan. He even reconnects with one of his old friends, Date, who takes him to visit more of his old pals throughout the game, albeit at a distance. He reminisces on things that remind him of his journeys and his loved ones, but this is all tinged with sadness. Kiryu knows he will die soon. These moments of love he experiences are good for him, but he's still set on dying. He has nothing to live for anymore. While he can see the important people in his life, he can't reconnect with them. Only Date can know that he's alive. Anyone that could expose Kiryu to being alive to the general public, or any of his loved ones even knowing that he is alive, would be a disruption to the contract with the Daidoji. And we saw what that means in Like a Dragon Gaiden. They would all be in danger if they knew of his status. However, that's not entirely the case. Kiryu's new friends do brighten his spirits. Date's help does help him adopt a more bright outlook, and the threat of his identity getting exposed is taken out of his hands entirely. His status gets exposed online as a Tatara channel makes everyone aware that he is alive. While this is worrying at first because of the implication of the Daidoji's threats, they ultimately don't fault him for it. Kiryu also slowly does look like he's getting better, with the life returning to his eyes. This all culminates in a scene towards the end of the game, where Ichiban and Kiryu have a heart-to-heart talk.
だからカスカ、お前はその後を頼む。どんな時代にだって世間の枠組みからどうしても外れちまう奴らは出てくる。俺たちみたいにな。そいつらが自分は生きてていいんだって思える場所をお前が作ってやってくれねえか。俺はヤクザの過去を引き受ける。お前にはヤクザの未来を頼む。
たくよ、勝って言いやがる。とんでもねえ宿題背負わせるじゃねえか。でも引き受けますよ、桐生さん。俺がハロワで働こうって思い立ったのも多分どこかで似たようなものを目指してたからだと思うんです。
ありがとう、カスカ。
ただ俺からも一つお願いがあります。どうせあとわずかの命だ。海老名を止めるためなら自分が死んでも構わないなんて考えはなしですよ。桐生さん、あんたは生きて生き抜いてから死んでください。死んで生き抜けたなんて俺が許さねえ。
As I played through Infinite Wealth, I was hit with many moments of happiness and joy, but also many moments of sadness. Kiryu was more tired than ever, and his health was at its absolute worst. I was visiting with my friend at his lowest point, and I was worried that this was it for him, that he wouldn't make it through this. As I played through the game, I did my best to help him. During his segments, I encouraged him to talk with his friends, reconnect with Date, and take on whatever side mission that would help him see the light, help him get out of this depression, and see that life was still worth living. Because at the end of the day, yes, the cancer was killing him, but it wasn't the biggest threat to his health. It was him. He didn't want to live anymore. He didn't see any point in fighting the disease, if all he was a failure of a man that couldn't even see his loved ones anymore. He felt like he had failed his friends, and the clan that he had spent most of his life dedicated to. My worry was at its all-time high once we got back to Japan. But after spending some time there, and showing him that his mistakes were unforgivable, that he could accept them and move past them into a brighter future, I started to hope. I had hoped he could see the point in living. In the final chapter, Kiryu wears his iconic suit to a battle with the main antagonist of the game, Ebina. The hype of this moment is only accentuated by the fact he's older, and him doing this is essentially him coming out of retirement for one final battle. Everyone is worried that this is what it will be. Kiryu is worried that this is what it could be, but damn it if Ichiban's words don't ring in his head. It doesn't matter though right now. This is the final flight of the dragon, and he has come to redeem himself, to make up for his mistakes of not redeeming the Yakuza earlier when he had the chance and fight for what's right. He marches up to Millennium Tower where Ebina is, companions at his side, music swelling. This is it. The same place where the series began. Kiryu fought his adopted brother Nishiki and Jingu here all those years ago, starting his legacy. Now it's time to put an end to it. The Dragon of Dojima dies tonight. The Dragon of Dojima dies tonight. Kiryu makes his way up. He gets one last fight in with his friends and fellow legends, and eventually gets to Ebina's office. Ebina tells him his plans, which come from his hatred of the Yakuza. Ebina hates everything Kiryu stands for, hates everything Kiryu is. They fight, and it's a magnificent fight. Kiryu throws off his shirt, exposing his legendary dragon tattoo, and Ebina throws off his shirt to show his, an Oni, a demon. Kiryu fights Abina. You see, as much as Abina sees Kiryu to represent everything he despises in the world, the organization that took his mother from him, Kiryu also sees Abina as representative of something. Abina is representative of his mistakes. He's representative of the mistakes of the Yakuza. Proof that Kiryu and co were right to disband the Yakuza. Too many people ended up like Abina because of the mistakes made by men like Kiryu. Despite his good nature and wanting to help whoever he can, Kiryu and the Yakuza indirectly led to too many men like Abina. Once their fight is over, both men are exhausted. Abina lies on the ground defeated. He can't even move and begs Kiryu to kill him. Abina tells him that he will just come back, and that he will haunt Kiryu and the former Yakuza. That he will be there to see to it that all of them will die if he is left alive, and Kiryu is quiet. He's exhausted too, and he slowly slumps his way over to Abina and falls on top of him and...
俺が言えた立場じゃないことは百も承知で言う。お前が荒川を恨み、氷川を恨み、ヤクザすべてを恨むのはわかる。だが、俺やあいつらに償うチャンスをくれねえか。そのためには生きなきゃなんねえ。どんなクズでも生きることでしか人はやり直せねえんだ。俺たちは生きなきゃなんねえ。白でも黒でもない灰色の道を。だからエビナ、頼む。お前も生きてやり直してくれ。あいつらを殺さないでやってくれ。頼む。俺が謝るから。そんなんじゃ許されねえことは分かっちゃいるが、俺が謝るから。すまなかった。
The dragon is dead. His legend cemented. He fought for them. All of the people trying to make their lives better. In his final moments, encouraging his enemy to be better, to forgive, and live. The dragon is dead. But Kiryu? He lives. Ichiban's words did not fall on deaf ears, as the ending speech proved. Kiryu took it to heart. He remembered all he has to live for, and decided to give it his all. He owes nothing to the Yakuza now. He has done all he can, and now he can live. Not for the Yakuza, not for the Daidoji, but for himself. The last we see of him is him going to get chemo, with Haruka and Haruto coming to visit him. There's a moment where we think he's gone, but no. Kiryu is a fighter. We see him presumably about to start. He looks frail and weak, but he's reclaimed his name, his identity. It's his again. His family is his again. He's gonna fight to live, even if it's hard. Infinite Wealth has a great many issues. Its story can feel a bit disjointed at times and a little long in the tooth, but the one thing it gets right for me is the end of Kiryu's story. It's not quite a ride-off into the sunset or a victorious sacrifice. It's a selfless man finally living for himself. Kiryu doesn't need to give his life for the cause he's given so much for already. He deserves to live the rest of his days with his family, no matter how few they are. Kiryu's gotta live, man. And my god, what a beautiful ending. I don't usually cry at games, with the only other times I've cried really being Duck's death in The Walking Dead Season 1, and Hugo's death in A Plague Tale Requiem. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, though, let's just say I got a little misty-eyed. I looked up to Kiryu throughout all these years, like I said before. He was something akin to that of a friend, as weird as that sounds, and seeing him go through this ordeal was hard, really hard. But seeing him come out the other end was so rewarding and heart-wrenching. Even if he doesn't have much time left, he's gonna fight for it. and that's something that really affected me. Kiryu has earned his rest. It is time we said goodbye to him, and I'm glad our goodbyes weren't through his death, but through his life. Goodbye, old friend. Hey guys, this video was made like right after I beat Infinite Wealth. Well, not right after, I started writing it right after because the ending really affected me, and you know, I just I kind of loved my time with the game, and I really wanted to make a video on it. And you know, I already knew what I wanted to make the video on because I just felt like a huge surge of like inspiration to write this. Yeah. Also, if you're wondering why like I don't use my own gameplay for like this stuff, I do record some gameplay. There's some of my gameplay in this video, but to be honest, like I feel like recording gameplay, especially during like a story-heavy game, kind of takes me out of it because I'm in like content mode. And like, to be honest, I really just wanted to experience this without thinking about like content and stuff. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna just do it on my own. I'm not gonna record anything. So yeah, thanks to all the people that I used gameplay for and footage for. I have them all here like at this screen. Yeah, thanks for listening to this video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this video comes out the way I want it to. Yeah, so that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. This is probably the most emotional video I've put out thus far because it's the most like kind of connected I felt to a story in a little bit now. So, you know, hopefully it comes out good. Yeah. Bye.